Thank you, Galway. So hello everyone. This is RK72. I'm James Du from platform team. I'm working on the Nebula component libraries. So to let you know that something that's Nebula is because the previous version is about the Stardust, and we want something the Nebula is also a Astoria name, so we named this, and wish it can be something better. It's a wish. Okay, so today's topic is fun facts of Nebula. And you know the series Big Bang Theory, there's a character Sheldon, and he has a series called Fun of Facts. So this name basically is from that verse. Okay, so today's topic is to talk about how to interact with the children of your component. And I'll tell you the background about how we face this problem and our attempts, and finally we found the pattern of it. So you can see this is a component with a link. Tip component is to provide information to the users. Sometimes it got a link inside of its content. So in order to put the content, so we put the content as the children of tip so that you can customize which part is the link in the text content. But you don't need to focus on how to style the link. So there's a tip link text we provide for you, so you don't have to focus on it. So for now, things looking good, but until you make some requests, that is, you need to add an action icon for tip, and the touch shown is different depends on wherever you got the link text. Take a look at the first one and the third one. You see the first one, it got a split touch area, but the third one doesn't have. The only difference between this one and the third one is that the first one has a link text in it. So it got the touch area for the link text to go to somewhere, and another touch area for to close something. On the other hand, if you don't have a link text, so you just have a closed touch area. So that leads to a result that you can see this is a tip component, but whether there's a split touch area is determined by whether there is a link text inside of it. So in other words, we need to figure out one way that tip knows there is a tip link text inside its children so that it can know whether there's a split touch area. And that's how we came up with our main topic. Okay, let me go forward. There are some solutions. Simple solutions. There are 3 solutions, and I'll go through one by one, so you can just go with me. The first naive idea is that you just treat the children that, if the children type is not of string, then you say, this is not considered as containing any tip link text. Well, of course, this is true, but you can see that even though you have something like this, my price, and it just wrapped a string with this price and unit, and this will become an object type. And not only this, is even that you can include some span inside of your text, it will also become a type of object. So this naive idea is not okay, not ideal. Second, we can set it manually. So by our developer, they can just set its link manually, so that tip will know that there is a link text inside of it. So it can determine right that there is a split touch area or no. But actually, it's works. But literally, the code itself is duplicate, because from the downside you can see there's information about from the code structure. You can see that actually tip link text is already inside of the tip, but still we need to use this is link props to tell it. So from the code itself, it's not quite ideally. Although we technically we can know that how it works for this, but the code itself is not how to say condensed, not that condensed enough. So it works, but it's not ideal. So we come to third option. Third option is basically just recursively check all child nodes type. You can this is some kind of pseudocode, but the main point is that you have a traverse children function. You pass in the children, and you just recursively count the child type, whether it is a type link text or it's a type. The child of the type is string, and if you don't, it's not a, if it's neither a type link text or it's not a string, then you consider no, it is not a valid. But this will lead to a problem that actually even this example, your friend Spenta Joy is a dogging. This is also fail on this because when you come to this part is actually not a type link text and not a string. So it's kind of too strict. And even though there's more problem that because on each render, you can see that this traverse will be called in a render. So on each render, the tip itself wouldn't know that what's inside your children. So this recurse needs to run on each render. That's also not that ideal. So what's exactly the real solution? Who knows the tip link text is mounted? Who exactly knows it? Actually is the tip link text itself. So imagine that a very naive way is that the tip link text component itself can tell us something like this, that he got a function that mount link text and unmount link text. And when it's mounted, he will do something like this to trigger, to notify it's being mounted. And when he's gone, we'll trigger this unmount link text to notify it's unmount. With that, we can know that how many tip link texts inside your children. But how does it come from? Who will give this mount link text and unmount link text, this notification? So here comes our solution, the context pattern. You can see that simply we can create a small tip context, and this tip context you can use this context, and you can get this mount link text and unmount link text, and you can do this thing. And to wrap up, basically it will be very easy. You just, the upper part you can screw that is just same part, and the tip you just do something like the counting. The amount link text is just to count the link text count, and amount link text is just to -1. So with this provider inside your tip component, you can count all the tip link text count inside your snap tip component. Here I need to thanks that actually this idea is comes from Yijing. We work with her, and he mentioned of this idea. And at the first point, we just think that, oh, this is a overkill to use context on this scenario. But after a little thought, we just came out that, wow, it really works. Why? Because when you are doing this, you can see you won't expect that the children of the tip, because we are using this for a text, right? So there may be maybe spans or something, or someone just want to wrap it as a component. There are many cases, but you don't expect that there will be a very deeper tree, no tree, right? So since there won't be a very deeper tree, so the context will not affect so many parts. So you can expect that they won't cost too much. And also the context will not call on each render. So it prevents the issue that we met in the recursive. So That's all about this. And I believe this can be discussed. If anyone have many better ideas, we can also talk this. So let me put back to the whole idea part and stop here. You can ask questions.
This is really cool. Right, I feel the context part we passed a little bit fast. So please give me some time to read the code. Right, so
yeah, sure.
so okay, so just to think out loud here, so the tip link text. Okay, so tip will put the set count functions inside tip context provider. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So the amount link text will be a setter function, and mount link tag will be another setter function, each handling
Yeah.
mounting and unmounting, and we're putting that into a provider. And then for each tip link text, which knows that itself is a link, we'll grab those from the context, and by calling use context. And then therefore we have these functions here, and then okay, we're calling use effect here. So this will be called every time it's mounting, and then because it's returning amount, so the amount link text will be called when the component amounts. Okay.
Yeah, but not yeah, HI mounting. Yeah. Right, sorry.
Cool. This is cool. Wow, I did not think of this. Although it feels the right solutions. This is like the kind of solution where after realizing this, I feel it's exactly right and cannot think of a better one. And I'm also curious whether someone get a better idea that solves this. Right. I'm still waiting for questions. Any questions? Yeah.
Yeah, mention again. This idea actually comes from Ichi, not origin from me.
I'm curious. How
Actually,
long did you guys spend
came
to
out with this.
solve this mystery?
You mean? Sorry, I didn't get.
Like from you realize this problem, how long time did it take you to first define the problem? That
Actually, not that long.
Okay.
Actually, because we need to do, because it's a real problem. We need to determine whether there's a split touch area. Remember it, right? So we need to find a way to tackle on it. Yeah. So we just raise this problem and find try to attempt some this, maybe just an afternoon or one day. I forget.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it agent very quickly raised this idea. It's amazing.
Okay, I'm seeing alternate solutions from the channel. So Chen said he's thinking whether there's any trick to use CSS sibling selectors to achieve the same effect. I know that Huijing is here. I guess she will start playing around, but if she gets back to me, I will let you know.